Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Tehran Davenport, Parker Kelly, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. It is a TD Thursday. We will talk plenty of Titans today, as they are now 1-11, taking on the Cleveland Browns coming up on Sunday. TD, how's it going?
Let me turn the mic on. Life is good, man. Everything is great, man. Start of a really good week. I got to see my granddaughter.
There you go.
Her second birthday, little Coda. Shout out Coda. Yeah, it's been a great week so far. Can't complain.
Get
man.
to travel for the first time in like a month. With the Titans having 4 straight home games.
Yeah, I got packed the
right
coat.
It's
third.
I saw a high of 32 on Sunday for that one.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So on Sunday's game, so I always go down before the game and I do a little video and put the Kanye hello good morning to it. So I was down there doing that, and his voice is like, "Hey man, you want to run these with me?" It was Mike McCoy. He wanted me to run the steps with him. So he does that before every game. But he invited me on Monday's presser. He told me he wanted me to run the steps with him in Cleveland. And I said, I hit him with the Magic Johnson, when he makes the side face and he's like, I ain't going to be there. I'm not doing that. He could keep it.
Yeah, if it's going to be 30 degrees, I wouldn't want to run stairs if it was, sunny and 75. I don't think I want to do it in 32 degrees.
I'm not going to have time to go back to the hotel and shower and come back fresh.
That's a good point. For Mike McCoy, he can make that happen. For you, it's like you want to have the fit going. You can't be running stairs in the suit.
Won't do it.
Should be a fun show today. I did want to mention, and you said it when you came into the studio, shout out Michaela Blakes. 1,000 points in her career in just 42 games. She is one of 10 NCAA players to reach 1,000 points in 42 games or less. So that shows you how historic it's been. She got it right on the dot last night. She scored 28 points. That's what she needed to get to 1,000. And Vandy gets the win over Virginia. Vandy men beat SMU. Both basketball teams over on West End undefeated.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And it's funny because when you say she had 28 points, I'm like, she didn't really get off like she normally did. That's how good Michaela Blakes is. Michaela, if you're listening, you got a big-time fan in me. We need you on Next Man Up, the TD Thursday edition. So I know Jake is going to make it happen.
I will try and make that happen for next week. Actually,
I won't fan. Well, I'll try not to fan out, but yeah,
I will try and make that happen for next week. I've been meaning to get some Vandy guests on, so maybe we can make that work because we don't play again till December 15th. So got a little bit of time off here for exams. So,
hey, Michaela, keep shooting, and keep scooping.
Averaging 26 points per game so far this year.
She's bad.
Unbelievable.
Man. She's the truth.
Yeah. Yesterday, Vandy, struggled a little bit early on. You need a bucket. You look for number one, and she came through a couple of times. So Vandy women's basketball, Vandy men's basketball, both 9-0 to start the season. Big wins in the ACC SEC Challenge last night. The men's side, I believe, wrapped up the SEC with a comeback win, 9 wins to 7. The women's side, I believe the SEC took 7 out of 8 last night. So I believe it should be a sweep for the Southeastern Conference on the men's and women's side. TD, on Sunday, massive step back for the Titans, for Cam Ward. And it was disappointing after the game against Seattle where the Titans offense looked at least somewhat competent late in the game. They were moving the football. They put up 24 points. And, you lose the game, but you left feeling like there was a little bit of confidence gained from that one. And then you come out, you get the 70-yard drive to start off the game, and you get 118 total yards of offense after that. It was just not fun to watch. It was not a good offensive performance. You put up 3 points, and you start to wonder, is it really going to get much better from here, especially with Myles Garrett lining up on the other side on Sunday?
Hey, listen, last week was one of the times where you better not say it can't get any worse. Because you're watching Josh Hines-Allen, man, and well, I tell you what, man, if I need to hire security and people to escort folks out of my function, Josh Hines-Allen is the one, because that's what he was doing to those guys, man. It was bad, that bull rush. And it's only going to get worse, like you said, with Myles Garrett. But when you look at that game, you talked about it, the 70 yards, 10 plays, 70 yards.
Right.
Look, here's the thing that's so crazy. Like, we're pointing to that drive and we're like, hey, man, that was a bright spot. It still ended in 3 points.
Yep.
The Titans are still, Parker, the only team in the league that hasn't scored a touchdown on the opening drive.
Yeah.
I saw that stat on the broadcast.
Yeah,
so sad.
It's terrible.
They have it up there every time the Titans get the ball to start the game, and it's like, hey, can they finally do it?
Yeah. And my thing is this, and it's I talked to Corey Levin after because I had to go up to him and tell him, hey man, like you were blocking your behinds off, man. Shout out.
Yeah, Corey Levin, he was opening some holes on that opening drive.
Open a drive, and he was like, yeah, I mean, we just kind of got away with it, and that's the thing. I don't understand. Okay. You have the drive, you get the field goal, they drive, they score a touchdown. Chim fumbles, Kevin Winston Jr. gets a little twisted up, on a combo.
Yeah.
It's 15-3. It's still early in the game. But the problem was, and on Run TMC, Chris Sanders and I, we got into this, and Chris made a great point. This team is so accustomed to getting behind the chains, and a lot of it isn't. Look, they can't run the ball well, just period. But what also contributes to that is the fact that you're seeing so many 1st and 15, 2nd and 14s, and it's like, okay, that running side of the play sheet,
put it away.
We got to tuck that away
and
work on other stuff. And it's just a collaboration of problems.
Yeah, I think that Chim fumble really took the Titans out of what they wanted to do because, it's 7-3 after the Jaguars go down and score, but it's still an early one-score game. You can still run the football. But I think after you fumble, they go down, they score again, it's 15-3. It's like, all right, now we got to start trying to make up for lost time. And they went away from the run game, which, Tony Pollard has clearly lost a step, and he has not been very good this season. Part of that is the offensive line's performance too. But he was looking good to start the game on Sunday. I mean, he was bursting through the hole. He was picking up 6-7 yards per run, and they went away from it, and the Titans really just never got anything going offensively.
I still think they could have run the ball if they wanted to, but they still could have run the ball when it was 15-3, right? But here's what happened. When you look at the series, it's 1st and 10, Cam to Iron Manor, 5 yards, 2nd and 5. What happens? Sacked. Austin Johnson. Remember that guy?
Yeah. He was one of 3 second-round picks in 2016.
Right.
Derrick Henry.
And who was the other one?
One of the biggest busts the Titans have had.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Dodd.
Yeah,
that's right. So 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 5, sack, lost of 2 yards. 3rd and 5, it's still a manageable situation, right?
Yeah.
Sack, lost of 10 yards, got a punt, right? And so you look at the next series. Okay, 1st and 10, they did run the ball. Tony Pollard, 3 yards. 2nd and 7, 4-yard pass to Van Jefferson. 3rd and 3, incomplete, punt. So it's like they could have run the ball on 3rd and 3. They got 3 yards on that, right? So then you go back to the next one. Tony Pollard, left runs to the left, 1 yard gain. Cam, short pass, 6 yards. It's 3rd and 3. Guess what you could have done?
Run the ball.
But what happened? False start. 3rd and 8. Now you got to pass, punt. So it's just like if you could figure out a way to lose the game, it's you just follow their pattern.
I know
they're gonna have they've shown the way.
It is funny because I will adamantly say the Titans are not tanking. Right, the coaching staff, the players, they are not trying to lose the games.
Right,
but sometimes the things that they do make you think otherwise because it's just like, man, if you're trying to lose the game, that's exactly what you would do.
It's a lot of head scratching when you watch this star team, man. Thank God I'm not a fan.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Hair Metal Henry says, I'm selling new Titans t-shirts. On the front, it says it can't get any worse. On the back, it says hold my beer. Pretty good. I think you might
sell a couple
make some money there. 8566 with an interesting stat here. He says, apparently, and this is according to someone on Reddit, the Titans are the first team in NFL history to score points in a game, so not get shut out, and still have more personal fouls than points. They had 4 on Sunday. Brutal. It was not a fun one on Sunday. Hopefully this week, I mean, again, Hair Metal Henry, it can't get any worse, can it?
Hold my
I guess we'll see.
While we're on that personal foul side of things, these officials, you gotta get it together, man. So you got a punter.
Yeah.
going to John Chestnut. That was one of my fellow receivers in college. Julius Chestnut. You got a punter going to Julius Chestnut telling him you're going to kill him, right? Like, okay, granted, you may not have heard what the punter said, but you for sure saw number 9 walking up to number 36. You know that he's not walking up there to figure out, his Christmas list. He's walking up there because he wants a confrontation. So you have the initiator there, right? Now you got 46, the long snapper coming in, and he jumps and he grabs Chestnut and throws him to the ground. Mike Brown doing what you're supposed to do.
Defends his teammate.
It's not Mike Brown's fault that the long snapper is, a chump, right? Because Mike Brown put him on the ground, grabbed his face mask, and told him, like, hey, man, we're not doing that today. And Mike Brown got ejected.
He got thrown out of the game.
The long snapper didn't. And the punter didn't, even though he was the initiator and the long snapper was the first physical. Well, you got to get it together and sort this thing out correctly.
Logan Cook, the NFL has said, should have been called for a trip on that Chimdike return, too.
And if he doesn't trip him, guess what happened?
House call.
Number
3 of the month. After going 13 years without one, Chimdike almost took a third back in 1 month. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. It is a TD Thursday. Coming up next, the Titans locker room had some comments after the game, specifically about Mike McCoy and the job he's doing as an interim head coach. We'll talk about it next. About Cam Ward's comments on the 4th down, Jeffrey Simmons about what he wants to see in the new head coach, and much more. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. That was Jeffrey Simmons after Sunday's game talking about what the Titans need in a new head coach at the end of the year. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 the game. And, felt like a little bit of a, do you still use the word subtweet of Mike McCoy there of that maybe he's not putting the culture and the leadership forward that needs to be as a head coach.
I get the feeling more that he's talking about just how it's been the last couple of years. But real quick, I want to shout Jeffrey Simmons out because, his foundation gave him a reason. I've gotten to see multiple events that, he's held for the community. He's a very heavy contributor to making Nashville a better place. So, I salute Jeffrey Simmons. He's actually now the 3-time nominee for the Titans for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. And he had Jelly Roll came to practice and surprised him with the announcement the other day. So I thought that was really cool. And only one other Titans player has been a 3-time nominee, and that's Kevin Carter.
Wow.
So yeah. Shout out Jeffrey Simmons.
Congratulations to Jeffrey Simmons. Maybe he can win it this year.
Hopefully. That would be really dope.
Last year, was it Eric Armstead who won it for the Jaguars? So we'll find that out at NFL Honors coming up in couple of months here before the Super Bowl, but great stuff from Jeffrey Simmons, 3-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. And those comments after the game, I mean, he's not saying anything that we don't already know. That the next head coach of this team has to be a leader. They have to be able to come in and set a winning culture for this team, because right now they don't have that. Obviously, they've won 10 games in 3 calendar years. They do not have a winning culture. But Cam Ward also said after the game, the first drive we were talking about, it ended in 3 points. 4th and 3, Mike McCoy decided to send the field goal unit out. Said if it was 4th and 2, they would have gone for it.
A yard? Come on, man. What are we doing here,
I've said it all week, TD. I'm like, you're not running the ball on 4th and 2. Like, you're not doing a quarterback sneak or something. So does the play that you had ready for 4th and 2 not work on 4th and 3? Like, are you running a 2-yard route over the middle? I don't understand.
Hey, man, man, listen, there's no figuring it out.
I don't know. And Corey Curtis yesterday was very adamant that you want to take the points when you can. And it wasn't exact. It wasn't
get out of here.
It wasn't the decision as much as it was the explanation for the decision that bothered me. Of if it was 4th and 2, we would have gone for it. I'm like, brother, you're 1 in 10. It's 4th and 3. Your team actually has some offensive rhythm. You're running the ball well. Like 4th and 2 versus 4th and 3 shouldn't be a big difference.
Both decisions bothered me. Both the decision and the statement bothered me. Look, okay, you want to take no. You got a chance to score a touchdown. Do something you haven't done. Hey, Jake, it's week 13, man. It's week 13. You had 13 drives, and none of them resulted in a touchdown. Yeah. What's 32 times 13? I don't know.
Has anybody ever gone a full season without scoring an opening drive touchdown?
I don't know. I don't know if they did, but I mean, there's 32 other teams that have gone 13 drives. And out of all those 32 teams, or 31 other teams, out of all those 32 teams, you're the one that has.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen those graphics on Twitter where it's like, have you scored an opening drive touchdown? And it's a circle of all the 31 logos. Yeah. Of course, it's December. No.
And the Titans over there like.
Yeah, again, the decision, fine. It's early in the game. You take your points. I would have gone for it, but again, it's just the explanation of, hey, 4th and 2 versus 4th and 3. It should not matter. Like if you have a play that works for 4th and 2 but doesn't work for 4th and 3, you should probably throw that play out of the playbook.
Here's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, right? If you look at this team, offense versus defense, well, defense is clearly the strong point, right? I think special teams is special teams is the strongest.
Yes.
But stronger is defense.
Yeah.
Right? It's 4th and 3 at your opponent's 10-yard line. If you kick the field goal, the defense is coming off the field like, all right, we won. They drove down the field and we held them to a field goal. We won.
That's a 4-point stop right there.
You see what I'm saying? But if you go for it, you get the touchdown, and okay, oh yeah, you don't get it, but defense just comes on the field and go, you know what I mean. But if you go for it and you score, or you get the first down and then you score, like it's a different statement that's said. You don't make a statement by driving 70 yards and settle for a field goal. Yeah. You don't make a statement. You got to dictate the flow of it, and that because that's the thing. Well, the game didn't flow. Dictate the flow of the game. You dictate the flow of the game by saying, "Hey, look, man," and even if you got to call a timeout, whatever, call a timeout, get them back together. Hey, look, fellas, this is it right here. We haven't done it all year. We need these 3 yards to be able to score on this opening drive. Go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the more egregious mistake on Sunday was, you mentioned calling a timeout. Mike McCoy not calling a timeout before the delay of game on 3rd and 3 that ended up setting up 3rd and 8. Titans get 7 yards and then don't get it on 4th and 1. Mike McCoy, you are the head coach in that situation on 3rd and 3. I know Bones Fossil came up and started talking to Mike McCoy during that the setup for that play, but you've got to be looking at the play clock, because the last thing you can have there is a delay of game to knock you out of 3rd and 3 into 3rd and 8, and it just can't happen. It cannot happen. Ended up costing you possible points there, and yeah, does it change the outcome of the game? No, but you got to give your team the best chance possible. Cam Ward's got to be better too. Like, that's on him that the delay of game happened too. But as the head coach, 3rd and 3, you're looking there saying, hey, we got 3 timeouts late in the first half. Got to get a timeout off here if we get low in the play clock.
Got to get, like, yeah. It's just poor management. And the thing is, so if that was Brian Callahan, like, he would be getting thrown on the grill. So why not give an experienced head coach, McCoy need to be thrown on the grill too for that. Yeah. But I mean, it's just, this whole situation is just bad.
Right. At this point, we're just trying to get across the finish line.
Right. It's you know what it feels like? Remember the guy that ran, the runner, and he was close to the finish line and he fell? Yeah. And then his dad came and got him and helped him across. That's what this season feels like, man. That's what they're going through right now.
Somebody's got to pick up this Titans team, the Titans fan base, and just get him across the finish line. But Cam Ward had his comments after the game about the 4th and 3 decision to not go for it and said, we need to be going for it. What were your thoughts on that of Cam Ward? I mean, he's not going to hold any punches. We've known that with Cam Ward. The we ask comments from early on in the season.
He's the top 5 receiver group comment.
Right.
He's going to say his biggest piece.
He's not pulling any punches, but to do it in the public eye and basically second guess your head coach, what were your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't think he necessarily, I'm not so sure that he necessarily second guessed his head coach. I think he just was saying what he would have done, He didn't say it was the wrong decision. He said he would have gone. And then I think Nick Holtz, he has some comments that really made sense to me, because I asked him, like, hey, man, you take it personally that he said that, and he's like, well, any great player is going to want the ball in their hands. It's just how it is. Like, you want there are some people who are in that situation and like, let me just kind of, but then the killers, they're the ones that are like, hey, put the light on me. Yeah. I'm about to show you how we do this, and I think that's the way that Cam Ward is looking at this thing. So, I mean, yes and no. It may not have been the most tasteful thing to say, but I think it was appropriate. And this is the problem with a lot of these things, is that, you get a guy, he speaks his mind. You don't necessarily agree with what he says, so you push back on it. But then if he comes out and says, oh, wow, at the end of the day, it's the coach's decision. And I'm just, then you're like, man, stop giving me that coach talk. Yeah. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's a double-edged sword. Yeah. And, I doubt that Mike McCoy had any problem with it, but it's not the first time that Cam Ward has been seen second guessing his coach on decisions not to go for it. He was caught on camera on one of these broadcasts. Come on, Mike. What are we doing? We need to go for it here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingan will be broadcasting live at the all-new Circus Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall this Monday prior to the Monday Night Football game. This week's matchup is the Eagles against the Chargers. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly with you. On the other side, want to talk J.C. Latham a little bit. Latham had another tough day, couple of lowlights in that game against Josh Hines Allen. We'll talk about the second-year right tackle after this on Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game.
Do you have
That was J.C. Latham talking about the matchup with Myles Garrett. Got a little Cam Ward in there, too.
Yeah,
but,
somehow looped together.
But J.C. Latham talking about that matchup with Myles Garrett, who is 3.5 sacks away from tying the single-season sack record with Michael Strahan and T.J. Watt. Think he might be able to do it on Sunday. It might be possible. But J.C. Latham coming off another tough day. And, again, the low lights are the ones that stand out. You look at those couple of plays where, Josh Hines Allen bull rushes him back into Cam Ward's lap, and Cam has to get out of the pocket. The play where JC kind of whiffed on an inside move from Josh Allen. He tackled Tajay Spears for a 4-yard loss. There's been a lot of lowlights for J.C. Latham this year. And for the Titans, you really can't start over at tackle, right? Like you've invested so much in that position. Obviously, Dan Moore is more of a placeholder for them to find a long-term left tackle of the future. But you drafted J.C. Latham 7th overall. You expected him to be a tackle for 10 years for your team. And right now, he does not look like that type of player.
No, not at all. And the thing is, JC has acknowledged it. He said, hey, they drafted me to, go against guys like Ward Allen, guys like Garrett, and hold my own. Yeah, they did it, but you're not doing it. And, I just wonder I wonder how much of a mental thing this is for J.C. Latham. Because he's a talented player. He works hard. He does all the things he needs. I just wonder how much this is mental for him. And hopefully, he could get it together and turn things around. I wonder also, okay, do you bump him inside to guard?
That's been the discussion, right? Of would he be a better guard? But there's got to be some pride involved with that. And I know Rand Carthon was the one who made those picks, so he's not around. But the fact that you spent 2 top 11 picks on guards, that is a heavy investment in your guard play, and you're left with 2 tackles who definitely aren't the long-term solutions for this team.
Yeah, and I think that's an issue. Right? Because you look at most of the good teams, they have bookends, But here's the thing when you're going against somebody like Myles Garrett. You saw what he did to Trent Williams?
Right. It doesn't really matter who you are.
Yeah. So sometimes, because we talking about Hall of Famer against Hall of Famer, freak against freak. Let me tell you, I shook Trent Williams' hand one time. We did a camp in D.C. My friend Bobby McCray and we did a camp, and Trent Williams was there. I shook his hand. That dude's hands. Like, I had that slapping competition.
Yeah,
he'll win it.
The power slap or whatever.
He'll win it. But I mean, to that point though, you got a guy that's as good as Trent Williams, and Myles Garrett can do something like what he did and make even him look bad.
Yeah.
So you do want to make sure that you have bookend tackles, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. And this is one of those weeks. But I think last week it could have mattered, right? And one of the things that was always said about J.C. Latham was how well he anchors. Did you see that bull rush that Josh Allen put on him?
Yeah, he put him 6 yards back into the pocket.
And Cam had to flee the pocket.
Right.
And throw an incomplete pass. But then also with Latham, and I love the fact that he admitted it yesterday, right? Because PK asked him about finishing plays. Because there are times where, like, he might get beat, and he's just like from here like this and stops. No, man. Go back and help your quarterback finish it. And he admitted that that's something that he needs to work on.
Yeah, there was a screenshot that was put out there of the play Cam Ward fumbled on, where J.C. Latham is kind of just standing there with his hands down at his side, and his man is the one who goes out and hits Cam Ward, knocks the ball loose. Part of that's on Cam Ward, obviously. Cam Ward ran into pressure and wasn't protecting the football, but J.C. Latham finishes, maybe there's a running lane for Cam Ward up the middle,
exactly,
and he's able to make a play. It just hasn't been good enough for J.C. Latham, and I think you're right. I think it is a mental thing. You've said it all the time that this guy went to IMG Academy in Alabama. He had not lost very much before he came here, and now he's lost 25 games in 29 tries. I mean, it's bad. I mean, that's got to be tough on anybody, right? Like you win all the time. You were at Alabama. I don't know how many years you have to go back to find 25 losses for Alabama, but it's a long way back. And that's got to have a mental issue. the injury early on, I'm sure, was tough for him to deal with. You work hard all offseason long, and you get halfway through your first game and you have to miss a month. I'm sure there's mental stuff with it, but he's got to turn it around fast. Year 3, I don't think they're going to push him into guard heading into next year. He's going to be the right tackle heading into 2026, but that is the year for him to, show up or you're out of here. I mean, they're not going to give him much longer than that to prove that he can be the guy. But this offseason, heading into year 3 for him, that is going to be the turning point to see if J.C. Latham can be worthy of the pick the Titans spent on him.
Yeah. So I think, that's something that you have to keep in perspective as you watch how things continue to develop for him. He's a first-round pick, so he's always going to get that little bit of extra cushion. Right. But at some point, you got to live up to the status.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talk about with Cam Ward. It's like we get all the people saying, oh, why give him such a long leash? You didn't give it to Levis. Well, Levis was a second-round pick. Cam Ward, first overall pick. He's going to get a much longer leash than any other quarterback that you could bring in because you spent the first overall pick on him. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with J.C. Latham. Like, if Dan Moore was horrible this year, and he's been okay, he's been an okay left tackle. If he was awful, they would have figured a way to move on from him because you didn't spend a high draft pick to go get him. Yeah, you paid him some money. You might have to eat some dead cap, but they can do that and not feel like they're giving up on a player that can be a key piece for them. J.C. Latham is going to get an opportunity to be one of your tackles for a long time. I don't think he's done enough to prove that he's not the guy this year, but he has a long way to go to prove that he is the guy.
The step that he was expected to take has not happened.
No. And you could say the same thing about T'Vondre Sweat, too. I mean, those are the two guys you took in the top 35 last year, and you wanted to build through the trenches. You got 2 monster guys who you thought could be staples of your team. And both of them, again, I don't think Sweat has been horrible this year, but he hasn't turned into a game wrecker, and we're not seeing Simmons and Sweat collapse the pocket from the interior as much as they need to be.
As much as you. And, some of that is due to, because if you look at a lot of third downs, they're swapping them out. Because Jihad Ward has emerged as right. a legit player.
They need to keep him.
They absolutely need. And low-key, he's one of those glue guys in the locker room, too.
Which is crazy, considering they signed him off the street like the first week of training camp.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. And so with his emergence as an interior pass rusher, on the pass rushing downs, you're kind of seeing Sweat get ushered out, and he's going in, bumping inside from lining up as like a 5-tech. Now, I will say this though, because I'm always gonna go half full. The one thing that I do like about Sweat is the effort. And Denard Wilson pointed it out, and when he pointed it out, I was like, yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there was a screen early in that drive against the Jaguars, and you saw 93 come from the other side and run it down.
Yeah.
The big man is going to go try to find the football. So you do have that. But, I mean, look, like, that's something that if you're in the league, you better do it. You know what I mean? And I understand 366 pounds and everything, but you got to do that. It's a starting point, but he has to be more impactful. Because you look at a high second-round pick.
Right. Borderline first-round pick for T'Vondre Sweat.
You need more out of him than what you've gotten. And I just wonder, like, when it's going to click. When is it going to happen? And you see Josh Hines-Allen use the bull rush, and you see it successful. Sweat has a vicious bull rush himself. He told me at the Senior Bowl, he said he doesn't use it all the time because it gets boring. Listen, man, I don't know about you, but it would never be boring to me being able to dominate another man against his will. So, T. Sweat, use it, man. Use it.
Boring is fine if it's successful. Like, you just go out there and use it if you can actually win with that bull rush move. 615-737-1025. A reminder, 10 a.m., your chance to talk to TD. So get your questions in for Teron. Again, can be Titans, can be life. Mets free agency going on. You can get all those in at 615-737-1025. Our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Looking for a good spot to watch NFL games this Sunday? Well, come by Twin Peaks in Cool Springs, home of the 29-degree beer, and join 1025 The Game for the pregame show before the Titans take on the Browns. Pregame show is brought to you by Tennessee Brewworks and Circus Sportsbook Kentucky. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. This Sunday, the NFL game of the week is the Bengals and the Bills at noon on 102.5 The Game. The NFL game of the week is presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly. Next man up 102.5 The Game.
Hey, Jake, we just had that conversation. We don't have to say the conversation that we had. We just had that conversation, and look what he's going to do to me.
Parker might have been listening.
Our mics were hot, and I didn't know.
I can just read TD's mind at this point.
There you go.
Yeah, he can.
That's
man.
your quarterback.
Ooh, that's my quarterback.
Next man up 102.5 The Game. A reminder, if you have questions for TD, get those in on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We will talk to TD coming up at 10. That is your two segments there. If you have questions, we'll get to those coming up at the top of the hour. But before we move on, we were talking about the trenches and somebody that maybe is being forgotten about because he's been injured for a while, Femi Oladejo.
Yeah.
Second round pick, another guy that I think the Titans as an organization feel good about for the future as a project pass rusher. I believe I saw yesterday that he's back out there on a side field at the very least.
Yeah, he started some of the rehab stuff. Now his window hasn't been open,
right?
But he started some of the rehab stuff. And I talked to him last week, and he was like, I feel good. I'm getting close, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
he brings the energy that you need.
And it would be nice for him not to have his rookie season end with that injury. That was all the way back in the Raiders game, right?
Yeah,
so that was week 6 to be able to come back and, I'm not saying he's going to come back off the injury, the injured reserve and put up 4 sacks in 3 games to end the year, but just to get a little bit of momentum, get your feet back under you and head into the offseason with some direction where it's not you're just getting healthy off your injury, that you got some more reps under you and you can head into year 2 with 7 or 8 games of experience instead of just the 6 and then not playing for the last 2.5 months of the year.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you want to kind of end on a good note, right? Feeling good and just roll that momentum. And that's the thing. This game of football is so much about momentum. And that's why I don't allow analytics to dictate everything about football, because it's so much about energy, momentum, and emotions, right? And one of the things that you find is guys, they like to build and stack. So you get something positive, you start there and you just keep stacking and stacking and stacking, and then that's how you lead to something good. So it is very encouraging for Femi Oladejo to be back out there getting some work in. Now you want to get him back, and there's 5 games left, so obviously he's not going to play all 5, but if you could get 2 or 3 in there, now you're doing something.
Yeah, he won't play this week. I would even guess he probably won't play next week, but maybe when you come back for that home game against the Chiefs right before Christmas, maybe that's a spot that you can bring him back. You got back-to-back home games there, Chiefs and Saints, and just see if you can see some more flashes from the young pass rusher who, again, he's only been playing on the edge for less than a year of actual football. I mean, he moved there midway through his final year at UCLA. He's played 6 games at the NFL level. So every rep is going to be important for Femi Oladejo if he can get back healthy. Looking at the other young rookie on that Titans defense, Kevin Winston, after a couple of good games for him after stepping into the starting lineup, not quite as great against the Jaguars on Sunday, but he did say he was playing a new position, correct? That's what he said after the game?
Yeah, he's playing a true
he's
doing
safety.
What Marcus Harris was doing. You know, he's playing nickel. And look, some of these things that have happened, Denard Wilson wouldn't say that they were picking on him. I feel like that they were targeting him after watching the 2 things that happened on the explosives against the Seahawks, where it's like, okay, we want to put this rookie in a bind and make him make a decision. And I think he's going to make this decision so that opens up.
Yeah,
and that's basically what happened on that. We used to call it Miami, where you have a post, like an 8 cut and a 7 cut combined. The 8 from the outside guy, the 7 from the end, and it's like, okay, whatever you pick, we're going to go the opposite of.
Right. He got caught in between.
Yeah, caught in between, and boom, it's a touchdown. And these things are going to happen. He just has to learn from it and understand his leverage. And as he said, understand the leverage. That was on the first touchdown on the slant, but then understand the spacing and where he needs to be as far as maintaining inside coverage as opposed to drifting to that corner route.
Yeah, and all of this is valuable experience for Kevin
Very
Winston.
valuable.
I mean, it's not going to be perfect, and you've seen the good things that Kevin Winston has done, especially in the run game. I mean, when he's been coming downhill in the run game, he has been making some
he will
plays.
come down and rock you. And he also, tackle for loss, but you can also use him in the pass rush side of things.
Right.
He's shown that.
Right. The Titans, with Denard Wilson, at the very least, he loves sending those guys off the edge, whether it's the safeties, whether it was Roger McCreary at times. So good to see Kevin Winston continuing to get reps and, a little bump in the road for pretty much everybody on this Titans roster on Sunday against Jacksonville. We hope to see them take another step forward against Cleveland. We will talk more about that game later on in the show. Of course, the big matchup everybody's been waiting for, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. We will talk about that. But coming up next, your chance to talk to TD, 615-737-1025. You can text or call. We'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and we've already got some good ones on the text line. Did want to mention before we go to break, we spent a lot of time talking about Vanderbilt this week. College Football Playoff Committee currently has them well on the outside of that top 12 and not an opportunity to show themselves off in front of the committee again. And yesterday, there was a very interesting quote from Clark Lee, basically saying he told his guys, have your bags packed in case we go find a place to play this weekend.
I love it.
That is one of my favorite quotes of just basically, hey, if they don't want to put us in, let's go play somebody else and show that we deserve to be in.
What I say about setting the tone, that's how you set the tone.
Right.
Forget the flow of the college football committee.
Right.
You want to flow that way? All right. We're going to give you something to make you flow the other way. I love that, man. As a player, your coach saying like, you're like, man, this dude is about it just like I am.
It's so funny because you got like Steve Sarkisian out there saying, oh, if you leave us out, we'll never schedule a tough non-conference game again.
Heck out of here.
Vandy's like, show us a time, show us a place, and we'll be there and put the ball down and go.
Janet Jackson said it best. Anytime, any place.
Well, the development on that is Pete Thamel tweeting this about an hour ago. Sources, number 14 Vanderbilt explored the possibility of playing an exempt 13th game this weekend as a way to give one final showcase for the college football playoff. There was interest from the team, the university officials, the athletic department, and the coaching staff, but ultimately the operational and legislative requirements, along with last-minute scheduling constraints, could not support the game. So they will not play, but it is funny, the message board geniuses who put out there, and it was like, Vanderbilt should play Miami and Hawaii as a 13th game. And Clark Lee was like, oh, no, that's not just a message board conspiracy theory. We'll do it if we can make it work.
Make it happen.
Sadly, it did not work out. Yeah. That would have been fun. 615-737-1025. It is now your chance to talk to TD. We've got questions on the text line. You can get yours in. You can text or call. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Second hour, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly with you on this TD Thursday, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. It is 10 a.m., which means it is your time to talk to TD. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Get your questions in now. TD, let's start with this one. And I actually wanted to get to this at some point today as well. From Caleb on our text line, he says, TD, I've been beating this drum for weeks. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I do not think this team can afford to spend another top 60 pick on the offensive line. This team needs guys that can score touchdowns and prevent touchdowns. Not saying to ignore the offensive line position in the draft, but maybe try and find some players later in the draft.
No, that's a good point. It's been a long time. You know, Corey Davis was the last receiver drafted in the first round. AJ was drafted in the second, and that worked out. And then was
Traylon
excuse
Burks.
me,
Yeah.
Traylon Burks,
Mr. One-Hand catch. Yeah.
So, yeah, they do need to add game changers, and that's not to say O linemen aren't game changers. I think O linemen are game facilitators.
Yeah,
but you need somebody that, regardless of what the situation is, they could take the football and do something crazy with it, or you need somebody that will just make a play defensively that just completely stops everything, right? That timing as a pass rusher to just come alive on third down and get the sack, you know, or get the strip sack to help out Jeffrey Simmons.
Right. You need playmakers. And as the offensive line is the glue that holds it all together, but the Titans just don't have enough playmakers of offense or defense. Hey, it's third and long on either side. Go make a play.
Yeah.
The Titans, outside of Jeffrey Simmons, who do they have that you can say is going to go do that? I mean, Cam Ward has shown at times he's going to do that. I mean, the 3rd and 10 last week against Seattle, that's a guy going and making a play. But you need more of those guys to help Cam Ward on offense and to help Jeffrey Simmons on defense, because Jeffrey Simmons can get as much pressure as he wants, but you need somebody who can finish the sack, or you need somebody when Jeffrey Simmons hurries a throw, you need somebody out there who can jump the route and take it back for 6.
Swoop in for a pick 6.
And you just don't have
Marcus Harris. Almost have one.
I know.
Dang,
And you had that for a long time with guys. I mean, Kevin Byard still leads the NFL in interceptions
He's
this
still
year.
going, man.
Crazy, because I was on board with that trade when it happened. He seemed like he had lost a step, but learning from it, it makes me realize that, you know, Amani Hooker, who's not had a great season, maybe it's just because there's not a whole lot around him to help him out right now.
Yeah, you got to give the young man some help, man. And I mean, he's had his own self-inflicted issues. You know, one thing I will say, this team, I don't know if they learned how to tackle. You look from the bye week till now, you know, there's 18 missed tackles. I don't know if there's a team that has less than that.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that was a serious issue on Amani Hooker's part. You look at the Jonathan Taylor house call. Yeah, everybody.
The Puka Nacua one with the Rams, where it's 4th and 1, and
ran through the whole.
Xavier Woods had him dead to rights.
Speaking of crazy catches, did you see Nacua's catch?
Yes, just speared it with one hand.
These dudes are unbelievable now, man.
It's crazy. And yeah, the Traylon Burks one, I'm sure that hurt some Titans fans out there, seeing Marcus Mariota and Traylon Burks hook up for a touchdown.
Right.
Even though those guys together were never expected to play together with Tennessee. They never overlapped at all, I don't believe. So, but yeah, anyway, good question from Caleb. Let's go to 3337 on the text line. He says, and we were talking about J.C. Latham earlier, TD, do you think the Callahans messed up J.C. Latham by trying to move him from left tackle and now back to right tackle?
No, I don't think, because, I mean, he seemed to have accepted that pretty openly. So I don't think that they messed him up by that, but it's just like he has to figure it out mentally. You know, I don't know if it's sports psychologist or what he has to do, but he has to get it together from that perspective.
Here's a good one from Wes in Clarksville. This one's going to get the people going a little bit.
Uh-oh.
TD, after seeing what you have on Cam, if you had a chance to draft Diego Pavia, would you rather have him or Cam Ward, assuming you had the picks to spend on him and still fill the other needs the team has?
Wes, why are you going to do this to me? Why? You know right now, Diego Pavia is equal to JC and not Latham. JC, Jesus Christ, in Nashville, man. Like, this dude can do no wrong. So don't do this to me, Wes. Don't do this to me.
I hope the Lord doesn't strike you down where you sit right now for saying
no,
that.
No. And listen, we're just talking in a figurative sense. I prayed this morning. I'll pray throughout the day. I'll pray before I go to bed. So it's symbolic to just being adorned. You know, that's all. He
has been
you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
He's been the savior of Vanderbilt sports.
Yes.
With Diego Pavia.
Yes.
And now, Wes, I understand the question. Diego, I mean, I think he is going to win the Heisman.
He's now the favorite. I've seen in some
he's
measures,
the favorite now.
He's the favorite.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. But
and
look,
if Fernando Mendoza beats Ohio State this weekend, that could change. But I think he's going to win the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
And that could move him. I think there's going to be a team out there that takes a chance on him in the 3rd or 4th round. Somewhere
I've maintained that he will be an NFL player. Definitely.
I think he's going to get drafted much higher than you would have expected at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I might have said undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Now he will surely hear his name called. I think it's a question of whether it's day 2 or day 3.
Somebody had the Broncos. Somebody had mentioned the Broncos getting him and having him be Sean Payton's Taysom Hill. But to answer the question, no, I'm still going Cam Ward. That's no disrespect to Diego Pavia at all. I think he's a really, really good college player. And, you know, even if he wins the Heisman, I mean, Danny Werfel won the Heisman.
Right.
And Danny Werfel, truth be told, is one of my favorite college quarterbacks ever. But
Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, they won the Heisman.
Yeah, so this wouldn't be the first time the best player in college football is not better than a guy in the league. So that's my long way and careful way of saying no.
There's a difference between being a great college quarterback and being a great NFL prospect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm done doubting Diego Pavia. Like, could he go out and have a great NFL career? Yes. But in terms of central casting for an NFL quarterback, Diego Pavia doesn't fit a ton of the molds that you look at. But I do think somebody's going to take a chance on him, right? Like, somebody is going to.
He's going to get drafted.
Because of what he brings to a locker room, and his passing ability has improved greatly this year. I mean, some of the throws he's making are ridiculous. So I think somebody's going to take a chance on him, whether it's in the 3rd round, somewhere around there. But for the Titans, Cam Ward, the Titans have tied themselves to Cam Ward for at least next year and probably the year after that. Using a pick in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round on a quarterback would just be stupid, because you have so many holes elsewhere.
Yeah, they don't have the luxury.
You cannot spend a valuable pick on a quarterback.
It's different from the Eagles, who were able to take Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. You know, it's different. That roster was packed. They already had, they were 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. They were able to do that.
Well, and coming off that Super Bowl, they realized the value of a backup quarterback, right? Like, Nick Foles just took them to a Super Bowl. So I think a very different situation. But with Cam Ward, they're not going to do anything that could stunt his growth, and drafting a quarterback even before the 5th round, I think would be at least a threat to Cam Ward that you don't want.
You can't do that. Look, man, go out and get Jameis. You know what I mean? Have him as your backup and your, big cousin to Cam Ward, and I think you'll be in good shape.
Justin from Greenbrier on the text line says, Paul asked this morning why so many people want to watch the Titans and encourage them to lose just because they want the number 1 draft pick. So do you, TD, think that there is value in this team fighting and winning some of these games down the stretch, even though it could knock them out of the number 1 spot?
Well, here's the thing. There's 2 paradigms, right? Like, from the front office perspective, you're like, yeah, we need that for number 1 pick. But as a player, and Cody Barton said it best, he said, man, players, we're not concerned about the number 1 pick. Jeffrey Simmons was asked about it yesterday. He snickered and was like, we don't care about the first. No, they don't care about it. And the thing is, it's imagine, I don't know, whatever job you have. Imagine you're doing it from 9 to 5. And whatever it is you're doing, imagine doing that, hoping that it doesn't work.
Right.
Imagine being a guy out here paving this road, and you're like, you know what? I hope this road gets busted up in a month. Like, it's hard to tell somebody to not do their job well on purpose. It's hard.
Right.
So tanking is, to me, not the players.
Yeah, I mean, the front office, I think, is doing their best to take away as many resources from this team as they can. Right? Like, you traded away all the cornerbacks. You traded away one of your better pass rushers in Draymond Jones. They are trying to make it difficult for this team to win a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
They already weren't going to win a lot anyway. But the guys in the building, I like that you compare it to doing your job. Like, for us, we want to come in here and have a good show every single day.
Yeah.
If Chase wanted the number 1 overall pick and he shut off the lights and the heat in here and we got real cold and dark, it might make it harder for us to do our job, but we're still going to do our best to do our job the best way.
Exactly. Great analogy.
Not saying the suit would do that, but
nah, Chase is good people.
Sadly, there's no number 1 picks in sports radio. I don't think they do a draft like that, but that's kind of what it is. The front office, yeah, they want that number 1 pick, but the guys in that room are trying to win every single game. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will get to more of your questions, your chance to talk to TD. If you want to get your questions in, 615-737-1025. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This holiday season, 1025, the game is looking out for the kids. We want to donate a bunch of stuffed toys to the Nashville Children's Alliance to be given to kids this holiday, but we can't do it without you. Join us at a Dunkin' location near you. Near your neighborhood the week of December 8th through the 12th to drop off a stuffed toy that a child will love. Find the Dunkin' locations that are participating at thegamenashville.com/toy. We would also like to thank the Metro Nashville Police Department, the Catalana Group, the Bluemont Group, Family Leisure, Thompson Machinery, and Reladine. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 the game. I don't know why it's kind of scaring me that this might be Bruce Kunkel.
Tell Parker to have the hang up button ready.
Yeah. Did this guy sound like a troll when he was here? He said he had a comparison. Oh, okay. The name Bruce scares me from Bruce Kunkel. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He's one of Jared's cronies. Really? Yeah. I'll keep my finger on the drop button. I'll be ready to sprint the dump. Second time in 2 days if he does do something here. Tim said shit. It was unintentional. Like, he was just being passionate about Vanderbilt. Yeah. He's like, I don't really give a shit. Oh, sorry. Nice. Sorry, Tim. We have to drop you. Let me run to hit that dump button in 20 seconds. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly with you. It is your chance to talk to TD, taking all of your questions for Teron Davenport on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our phone lines. And Bruce has been waiting patiently. Bruce, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, you guys are making a comparison of Diego Pavia to Taysom Hill, and I actually think there's a way better comparator out there. Back in the early 2000s, Michael Robinson was the quarterback of Penn State. Very, very similar tool set to Diego. And he actually carved out a really nice NFL career for himself with the Seahawks mostly as a fullback, a third down back, and a special teamer. And I could see a team using Pavia in that way, basically the same way they used Michael Robinson earlier.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for the call, Bruce.
Bruce, that's an awesome call and suggestion. And listen, man, I salute you for that pull, too. I remember the 49ers. They were the team that got Michael Robinson, and they converted him to fullback, and he was a returner also. He and Arnez Battle, they used to rotate return opportunities, and then he went to Seattle, and that's when they started to have that increase, and he got more popular as the fullback for Marshawn Lynch. Great pool. I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, we actually Wes from Hermitage asked the same question. Who is Pavia's NFL comp? He's been saying Taysom Hill, but I'm curious. Yeah, it's strange because I guess the one comp you could make just based on size and good thrower of the deep ball. Diego's been much better throwing the ball downfield. Like Russell Wilson would be like the ceiling maybe for Diego Pavia.
Hey, I mean, you could get that out of him. That's
right. Like that. I think that's what if you're drafting Diego Pavia in the third round, I think that's what you're hoping for, right? Is that he would be Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a high ceiling to get to. Super Bowl champion, one of the better quarterbacks of the last 20 years. But I think that would be what you're hoping for. Johnny Manziel is obviously going to be a guy that you bring up, but I don't know if Diego has the off-the-field issues that Johnny Manziel had. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Get your questions in for TD. Ryan in Florida on the text line says, what's up, TD? Who do you think is going to have the better game on Sunday, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders?
It's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur's not going against that defense, man.
Yes. Shedeur is lucky that Myles Garrett is wearing the same uniform as him.
Yeah. Cam has to go again. And I love that Cam Ward said, he said, end of the day, like, I'm not worried about Shedeur Sanders. I'm focused on Myles Garrett, and rightfully so. I mean, that's a big time task.
Right. It's easy to do the quarterback on quarterback thing of Sanders versus Ward, the two rookies going against each other. But Cam Ward is facing the Browns defense. Shedeur Sanders is facing the Titans defense. One of these things is not like the other. The Browns.
I mean, it's still a duel. They're going to be in the building. They're going to be on the same field at different times. But, the playing field isn't level.
Right.
That's for sure.
I mean, Myles Garrett is a freak of nature, and he's going to break the single season sack record. It's almost guaranteed, right? You got 5 weeks to get 4 sacks. He's got 19 already this season. He's going to do it. The question is, does he do it on Sunday with an unbelievable performance against the Titans? Are you just rolling everything away from him? Just put Cam Ward on the run every single time and just roll it where the opposite way of wherever Myles Garrett's lining up.
That's almost like what you got to do.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Again, get your questions in for TD if you have anything. Again, this doesn't have to be Titans. This could be anything life-related whatsoever. I have a question for you, TD.
Yeah.
We're in the winter meetings are going on this week. What do you want your Mets to do?
Now, don't take this personally.
Oh, no.
I want them to get their team's number. Yeah, that's what I want. Honestly, the Vamber, what's his last name? Framber Valdez.
Framber Valdez. Yeah.
Framber Valdez. Come away with a number one, a top pitcher.
Yeah, and Cease is already off the market. He's with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Blue Jays, they putting it back together.
Right.
So I want that. I want Edwin Diaz back. I want Pete Alonso back. And I would love for them to get another bat. Maybe an outfielder. Trey McNeil, because obviously, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
So trade the squirrel and get another outfit. Now there's some guys in the farm system. You look at Jet Williams, Carson Bang. Like these are guys that, especially Jet Williams, he should probably be up soon. So I want to see just more offense and more pitching.
Mets do need a top line starter, but when you start your lineup with Soto and Lindor, feel pretty good about it. Got to add a little bit.
But see, you're taking Nimmo out, and Nimmo was, a guy you could flex between 1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
Mix in with Polar Bear and
hey, New York Mets. Let me tell you something. I'm paid off now. So if you guys go ahead and sign somebody, don't send me a bill because it's going right back to you.
He's got the Let's Go Mets coffee cup in here. Baseball season not too far away. I think pitchers and catchers report in like 2 months.
I got a darn email saying that spring training tickets are on sale.
There you go. You want to make a trip down to Florida there?
I thought about Port St. Lucie.
Yeah. And, that's kind of the dead-ish period of, pre-free agency. Combine is one weekend, but that's about it. Maybe some Senior Bowl, stuff like that. Let's go to the YouTube chat here. You already answered this in the YouTube chat before our listeners. Belvis Duffield says, TD, if the Titans do end up with the number 1 pick, would you go edge like an Arvell Reese, Ruben Bain? Would you go wide receiver, Carnell Tate, or would you trade back?
You know who the last receiver to be selected number 1 was?
Keyshawn Johnson.
Bingo. 1996. That was a great class, by the way. But look, ideally, you want to trade back. Right now, I think the Jets have the 7th and 23rd pick.
Yes, because the Colts have fallen back to earth a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not going for just that. I want you got to give me I
think it would be
second or a third. Like
those two, maybe a third this year, a second next year.
Yeah,
to move back from 1 to 7.
Give me that, right? So that's the trade I would do. And at 7, you pray that Reese is there. I don't think he would be. So then you could go Tate. Look, Tate is going to spitting bar.
There you go.
Tate is going to elevate. But no, all jokes aside, I think he's going to continue to move up. Honestly, I don't know that there's much of a difference between he and Jordan Tyson. In fact, I think he may be better.
It seems like that's the way it's trending. It was Jordan Tyson is the number 1 wide receiver.
I was never on that.
As every week goes by, Carnell Tate, I think, is moving closer to passing him if he hasn't already.
Yeah. So Tate, I mean, that would be the perfect guy for the Titans.
Yeah.
Now, is he my favorite? No. As I've said multiple times, I love Jeremy Bernard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love him. So and
Makai Lemon out of USC.
At 7, I think it's really going to depend on what pass rusher is there and what receiver is there. If it's Bain versus Tate, give me Bain. Give me Tate, and then I'm coming back later. Cassius Howe, as Belvis Duffield 200 mentioned.
Well, I was going to say, it feels like there's a strong group of pass rushers in the first round this year. Reese seems to be the runaway number 1 guy. Yeah. He's getting comparisons to Micah Parsons. Ruben Bain is your probably number 2, but you do have Cassius Howell, Keldrick Falk from Auburn. Those guys are going to be first-round picks.
Was it TJ Hill from Clemson?
Yeah, TJ Parker.
Yes. From Clemson. So, I mean, there are some guys. And don't get it twisted. That guy on the inside, the big single-digit lineman.
Peter Woods.
Now, he's another one.
Yeah.
That's going to go higher than people think, and you can never have too many. And you look at how they're using Simmons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's a good question. I would look to trade back and do it. But if stuck at number 1, I'm taking Arvell Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where you can't really go wrong. It just depends on, is there going to be a quarterback that teams are willing to give up that kind of value to come up for? And right now, you don't know who it is. There's a grouping of guys who are in that conversation. Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. The rumors are that Dante Moore may come out now. At first, it was that he was going to go back to school, but if you're going to be a guaranteed top 3-4 pick in the draft, it's hard to turn that down. So
if I'm him, I'm considering coming out because I don't want to go against Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Next. And it's not that I'm afraid of competition, but I'm understanding everything. He has the Manning last name, so he's always going to be considered above me, even though I played better.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And this year, it's a draft class. I heard Paul and Joe talking about it. It's a draft class that was supposed to be loaded with quarterbacks, and all of those guys are not even being considered for the number one pick.
Lenore Sellers, Cade Klubnik. Now Sellers, had the injury.
Nussmeier.
Yeah. Nuss. I never on the Nuss bus, man. Never on that bus.
But now it seems wide open, and if Dante Moore is in consideration to be the number one overall pick, you can't go back to school at that point. I mean, you could, but you don't know what your season's going to look like next year. You could get hurt. You don't know what everybody else is going to do, and there could be guys that emerge and end up
and you open yourself up to prospect
fatigue.
Right?
And,
Matt Barkley, I remember, he should have come out. He came out a year later and ended up being a third-round pick instead of one of the top guys.
It happens all the time. I mean, the one that maybe hits home for the Titans a little bit, Olu Fashanu was a big prospect fatigue guy. He was expected to be the top tackle off the board a couple years ago, and it just felt as you went on, guys kept passing him. He's turned into a really good player for the Jets. So, but you really hope that one of these guys steps up in the playoff, right? You're going to have Mendoza, Moore, and Simpson all playing in the playoff. One of those guys needs to go on a Linsanity type run and put up 13 touchdowns and no interceptions in the playoffs and have a team fall in love with them. Because if the Titans get the number one overall pick, you want to drive that price up as much as possible.
I remember Linsanity, man. New York was
crazy.
It was wild.
I mean, have we ever seen anything like that again? The 2-week stretch that Jeremy Lin had?
Man, it was wild. I remember taking the bus up there a couple times, and the bus will let you off like right across the street from there, and like, man, the city was popping, crazy.
Knicks fans are insane. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Appreciate everybody texting and calling with their questions for TD. Great stuff as always. Saturday's college football game of the week is number 2 Indiana and number 1 Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game on 94.9 The Fan at 7 p.m. Coverage presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and is also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. When we come back, there was a clip that was circulating around social media yesterday from Adam Schefter, talking about a possible head coaching candidate who could enter the fold at the end of the season. We'll talk about it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly with you on your Thursday morning. Big thanks to everybody who interacted during Talk to TD. Good questions today. But moving on, yesterday, circulating around Twitter, there was a clip from the This Is Football podcast with Kevin Clark, and he had Adam Schefter on, and they were talking about the head coaching candidates who could be out there for this cycle. And the quote from Adam Schefter was, "There is no Ben Johnson in this class." And Ben Johnson was obviously one of the top candidates coming from the Lions as the offensive coordinator. And he's done a pretty good job with the Bears so far. They're 9-3 atop the NFC right now. So says there's no Ben Johnson out there, no cream of the crop candidate at the NFL level. And he threw out a name that has been mentioned before as a possible head coaching candidate. It's Marcus Freeman, the head coach of Notre Dame. What would your thoughts be on a Marcus Freeman Titans Union as the next head coach?
It's definitely an interesting combination, and this is clearly a guy that will bring some exuberance and energy and leadership. I'm not against it, but I just got to see, like, who's going to call your plays? Like, what are you going to,
right?
That's the big thing that I want to see. And if he does come, a Marcus Freeman, they're not taking Love with the number 1 pick, so
maybe they would. Maybe they would. Here is the clip from the podcast. Again, this is Adam Schefter on the This Is Football podcast with Kevin Clark talking about the head coaching candidates for this cycle.
Right now. Now, I'm not telling you that he's even going to go. He may be very happy in South Bend, Indiana, and he may be staying there a long time. But I don't look at the cycle this year and say, this guy is a lock for a head coaching job at the end of this cycle.
So that was Adam Schefter yesterday on this podcast and bringing up Marcus Freeman, because you do look around the NFL and a lot of the top candidates out there are retreads, right? Like the guys that we're talking about for the Titans, and rightfully so, with the inexperience that's been around this team the last couple of years. You want a guy who has head coaching experience before. So it's been Arthur Smith, Matt Nagy, Robert Saleh, the name Mike McCarthy. Those are the names that have been brought up. But there's a reason those guys aren't head coaches in the NFL right now, obviously. But there isn't the up-and-coming candidates right now. Like Joe Brady was the hot name. I have a friend who's a huge Bills fan who wants Joe Brady fired. And it's like, is that really a guy that is going to be the up-and-coming head coaching candidate for this team? I don't think so. So the best of both worlds could be an out-of-the-box move, like a college head coach who has experience being a leader in the locker room, but it's not like you're trying to take a chance on a guy who has already failed as an NFL head coach before.
Yeah, and look, a lot of times, and it's pretty cool how you've seen the whole dynamic shift, because earlier it was all like, need experience. You need somebody that you have to be able to come in here and lead, and someone that has been there and done that before. So it was pointing to all the retreads, right? And I love the fact that now it's being opened up to other opportunities. Now, is this coming from, you know how this game works, Jake? I wouldn't be surprised if whoever, I don't know if Marcus Freeman is who his agent is, but this game is a lot of, I'm going to scratch your back if you scratch mine.
There's a pretty good chance it's Jimmy Sexton. I don't know that,
yes,
but I'm just making a guess.
Jimmy Sexton's everyone's agent, all right? He's everyone's agent.
Hey, listen, man.
He's probably TD's agent.
No.
He's not telling us.
No. My agent is Tyler Glass, and that's only because my best friend, Bobby McCray, of McCray Sports, definitely check them out. He doesn't represent media or coaches. But Yeah. To your point, though, Parker, Jimmy Sexton represents a lot of guys, and it's all trade and information. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna give you this information. You do me this favor. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened. But, either way, I love the out-of-box thinking. Now, is this an organization that I think can afford to have the out-of-box thinking? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
This hire has to have a high floor. That's what I've been saying since they fired Callahan is this is not the time to go lottery ticket on your head coach. You got to go find a guy who can raise this team back up to just being competitive.
Right. Because you know what happens 2027?
New stadium.
And you need somebody who's going to open that. Now, here's the thing, right? It goes down to high risk, high reward, so I'm not saying get away from it because scared money doesn't make money, but at the same time, safe money typically warrants long-term steady process.
You're not going to go bankrupt
profits
with safe money.
Right. So it's a tough call. I don't envy Borgonzi or Chad Brinker at all. But you better get it right.
Right. I mean, you can go on the spectrum of safe hires to risky hires. I think Mike McCarthy would be the safest hire you could possibly make. Again, it's a guy who's got, 15 years of NFL head coaching experience or close to it. He's won a Super Bowl. And at the very least, Mike McCarthy's going to come in. He's going to know what he's doing. There's not going to be any risk of, oh, man, he came in and just didn't know how to be an NFL head coach. He's done it for a pretty long time.
Right.
And then at the other end of the spectrum is your first-time coordinator, like a Brian Callahan hire, where it's a guy, first-time play caller, first-time head coach, stepping in, trying to figure it all out at once. You can't go to that end of the spectrum again, but I don't think it has to go all the way to the other end of the spectrum. That's why I think Marcus Freeman, if that was something the Titans were exploring, I would be for it because that is a guy who has been a head coach before. Yes, not an NFL head coach, but it's a guy who is going to set the winning culture. The big question is, like you said right off the top, who is going to be his offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of this, if we're thinking outside the box here, he would probably bring, if I had to guess, he'd probably bring Mike Denbrock with him, who was the offensive coordinator at LSU when Jayden Daniels was there. So that would be that would just be something off the top of my mind. But to your point, he's a leader of men. Marcus Freeman's a leader of men. So I could see him absolutely being a fit here.
Yeah.
Now, if he wants to leave college football, selfishly, I don't want him to leave. But if he were to come to the Titans, I think that would be a great fit.
Yeah, and it all would come down to whether Marcus Freeman wants to. But you're right. It's like if that's coming out, then wouldn't that mean that Marcus Freeman wants that to come out?
Yeah. No, it's just I had a crazy thought. I would just leave it alone. But yeah, because you looked at me like, yo, what are you laughing
I was
at?
like, what popped into your head?
I would just leave it alone because I don't know if it's radio friendly. But what about Dan Lanning?
Yeah.
What about him?
I like Dan Lanning.
He's not leaving.
I don't think he's leaving either.
But so let me ask you this: what more glue? What would glue him more to Oregon than Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame?
Yeah,
because I mean, look, like if you compare the two, don't get it twisted. Oregon's a great program, but Notre Dame, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just a gut feeling of like the way Dan Lanning has talked about Oregon, and he was talked about for the Alabama head coaching opening, and really outwardly said, I don't want to leave Oregon. But yeah, I don't know. I guess there really wouldn't be much of a difference between those two. I like the college head coaching hire if the Titans were to go into that area. But, I kind of doubt it at this point. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's go to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Wes from Hermitage is on the line. Wes, thanks for calling. What you got?
What's up, Jake, man? I got to give you and TD a hard time, man, and tell y'all it's time we change up these promos because I got you telling me a 10-2 team in the SEC gets in, and then we're talking about Notre Dame. Oh, man.
To Jake's credit, as soon as that played, or actually before it played, he said, hey, man, we got to change this promo. So Jake's on top of it.
What else we got to change too, though, TD?
Uh-oh.
We also got to change the Tony Pollard as the Honda Accord because he's out here playing like a Prius.
Hey, listen, man. You know what? Honda Accords, like if it doesn't go right, it goes really wrong. So it could be both sides of it. You know what I mean? That has a
Man,
double
sure.
meaning.
For sure. So, man, in all seriousness, God, I hate that I'm having to have this call right now, but I have to put it out there.
Uh-oh.
Cam Ward absolutely has to have the best game of his NFL career on Sunday, or I'm not going to be able to get on social media for about a month, man. I can't listen to the Sanders and Cam debate. You know, Sanders has had, 2 or 3 starts. I mean, Cam Ward has no weapons. So, and now they're trying to make it Cam versus Shador. Like, It's a boxing match. Like, it's ridiculous, man. But what does Cam's stat line need to read in order to feel better? I mean, do we need to win? Do we need to just have a good stat line? Like, what does he need to do to get everybody to just shut up after on Monday and Sunday night?
You know what, Wes? They won't shut up. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I feel your pain where you're coming from, because like I'm one of few people that's like, yo, Shador and Cam Ward are good. Why does it always have to be? Why does it have to be LeBron against Jordan, Kobe versus? Like, why can't we just say, hey,
that's sports for you.
Let's appreciate.
I think
both.
It's because it's first round versus fifth round, TD. I mean, that's just really what it is.
Well, I feel that, but here's the thing. We know that there's a lot of other antics involved with him being a 5th round pick, but to answer your question about stat line, whatever stat line he needs, it ain't happening. Because this Browns team is good on all levels, man.
Yeah. It's
thanks, guys.
Thanks, Wes. And I'm with you, Wes. I am a little bit scared to face the music on Monday if the Titans lose this game, because and not because it's going to change my opinion in any way, but the text line I just know is going to be, because I have been one of the big Cam Ward advocates since before he was drafted. And so if Shador quote unquote outplays or the Browns win against Cam Ward and the Titans, I know there's going to be some texts coming in from some people.
Oh, it's going to come. But look, man, like, both quarterbacks are good. They're every and Cam Ward said it best. Every rookie's situation is different. And the thing that I love that he said is, I'm just living the life of a quarterback,
right?
Not getting too high, not getting too low, just maintaining his steadiness. And that's one of the things. So, unfortunately, Wes, I have a story. Daniel Oyefusi and I, we collabed on a Shador Sanders and Cam Ward story. For that story, though, it's coming out Saturday. For that story, I talked to Daryl Colbert Jr., their quarterback coach.
Yeah.
And, he said that was the one thing that was one of the many things that was so remarkable about Cam Ward. No matter what, every day he came in and it was the same person. So that's a good thing.
Excited for this game on Sunday. Maybe not so much, but hopefully Cam Ward can take another step forward after what was a tough game against Jacksonville on Sunday. 615-737-1025. Lots of text pouring on the text line. We will get to some of those coming up next. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly with you, wrapping up hour number 2. Talking some Titans. We got a lot of good questions in the text line here, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I actually got one on my personal text line, and I missed it during Talk to TD, but I think it's a good question from our good friend Corey Curtis, who is on the show on Wednesdays.
Happy belated, Corey. Corey turned 31 yesterday.
He was on the show and he did not say anything.
Hey, listen, that's because it's not about him.
31?
Yeah, he's only 30. Believe that? Parker's over there dumbfounded. I'm just kidding. But what'd he say?
He asked, when do you, TD, expect a deal for Peter Skoronski?
Good question. Good. Look who's right there on my screen.
There you go. Yeah, right on the laptop. Peter Skoronski on Myles Garrett.
Hopefully soon for his sake, because you talk about steady players. He's probably the most steady Titan, even more steady than Simmons, honestly.
I would think it's going to match up with a lot of, and it's not just the Titans, it's most NFL teams. They do their extensions in like the beginning of training camp. So yeah. I would say probably August, July, somewhere in there. We'll get a new deal for Peter Skoronski.
He's going to need one soon because
This is it. So this is his 3rd year. So they'll have to make the decision on his 5th year option this spring. But you can always extend him before that too. So I'm sure that there is going to be a deal coming. He is one of the few guys the Titans have drafted that has actually been a really good player.
Jeff still was in April, right?
Was it?
I think it was in April.
It might have been.
So I would say in the coming months.
Yeah. Let's see. When did Jeffrey Simmons?
I'm almost sure it was. I'm pretty sure
it was April. It was April 7th. So yeah, I guess that could be it too. Is that they lock him up around the draft free agency time. But Peter Skoronski, again, you've had so many misses on draft picks. I wouldn't be worried about them getting an extension done for him because he's one of the few draft picks that has actually turned into a really good player.
Yeah.
Keegan on the text line says, I think he's joking here. I'm sick and tired of all the debate and back and forth. Y'all talk about it on the show almost every single day. So let's just let TD settle it once and for all. Who is the best guard in Titans history? And you can't say Peter Skoronski.
Damn it. No, Zach Pillar. No,
yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question. The best guard in Titans history.
Because like
Chance Warmack. No, I'm kidding.
Chance Warmack.
That's answer. A good question. I don't know, man.
I don't think I've ever thought about who the best guard in Titans history is. I mean, you go back to like Aaron Brewer, tougher than a $2 steak.
That's pretty tough, by the way.
I'm thinking back to the like 08-09 offensive lines because Mawai was the center. Was Eugene Amano on that line at guard?
I believe so.
Maybe that's where you go with this. I don't know. That's guard is one of the most forgotten positions in the NFL.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Quentin Nelson or Zach Martin or one of those guys, you just don't get the shine that you deserve.
Or Peter Skoronski or yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Corey chimed in. Benji Olsen. That's a good one.
There you go.
I think I'll go with that.
615-737-1025. Good stuff on the text line today. Keegan says, total joke, but love that you got stumped. He says Eugene Amano would be his answer. So there you go.
So
who would have thought we'd be having a conversation about the greatest guard in Titans history today?
Real quick on Marcus Freeman. So he was on the Today Show and he said, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I mean, of course, at this point in time, like you got to say that.
And Lane Kiffin said he's never been happier than he was in Oxford, Mississippi.
I would like to think that Marcus Freeman and Lane Kiffin have a different set of core values. But one other name, and it's wild to me that they're talking about firing this dude and chanting fire his name. And DK Metcalf, he ain't like that.
Mike Tomlin.
Imagine that. Bring old Omar Epps to Nashville, man.
So I was talking, my parents are in town, big Virginia Tech fans, both of them went there, and we were just talking yesterday about when the Hokies fired Brent Pry, who would have thought that you would ever have a chance at James Franklin? right? Like at that point, they were the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah.
There was no shot of when they fired Brent Pry that they thought they could go get James Franklin.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is with the Titans. It's like when you fire Brian Callahan, did you think Mike Tomlin would be available?
And what if Mike Tomlin brings Arthur Smith and keeps Denard Wilson? Actually, you know what? I ain't gonna lie.
TD's found his new favorite scenario here.
Hey, Parker, I ain't gonna lie.
That sounds
Mike Tomlin, Arthur Smith, Denard Wilson.
Oh, I would run over hot coals.
Bones Fossil.
Bones,
I would run over
I don't
hot
care
coals
who's the coach.
I'd walk over broken glass. I'd crawl over broken glass.
Yeah, if you're looking, I think we've all been talking about like what's the dream scenario for the Titans, and this is a dream mostly because even if Mike Tomlin got fired, would he come here? I'm sure he'd have other offers. But if you could get that group, Tomlin, Smith, Wilson, Bones, sign me up in a heartbeat.
Also, Corey has called and let me know that the best guard in Titans history is Benji Olsen.
He's really pounding the table.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
man, that's a combo right there.
That is. We can. You know what? Let's talk about that a little more on the other side of what that might look like. 615-737-1025. We'll also preview Browns and Titans a little bit more. Talk about what the Titans could possibly do to slow down Myles Garrett. Probably not going to be easy.
Pray.
And what can they do to affect Shedeur Sanders? 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Final hour, next man up, 102.5 The Game. It's a TD Thursday. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. I do want to apologize to start off hour number 3. Keegan had texted in asking about the best guard in Titans history, and we did not mention Bruce Matthews. I did not realize how long he played for the Titans. He played 5 seasons for the Titans, not just the Oilers. And it was an all-pro 3 times. So Bruce Matthews, I think, is the obvious answer, of course. But most of his career, 19 seasons in the NFL, came with the Houston Oilers. But still had 3 all-pro seasons with the Titans. So there you go. Yes, we got multiple texts about Bruce Matthews. I knew he played for the Titans, but I thought it was only maybe a season or 2. 19 years is crazy in the NFL.
Yeah, no, it's at O-line too, man.
Right. In
That's
the trenches.
A super physical position.
So there you go. Bruce Matthews, number 1 guard in Titans history, especially franchise history. 615-737-1025 is our phone number if you want to text or call. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. TD brought up the conversation that we heard Paul and Joe talking about this morning with Charles Robinson about Steelers fans chanting for Mike Tomlin to be fired last Sunday against the Bills. And Tomlin did answer this, that he was asked about it, about the fans chanting. And he said, in general, I agree with them. From this perspective, football is our game. We're in the sports entertainment business. And so if you root for the Steelers, entertaining them is winning. And when you're not winning, it's not entertaining. If you've been in this business, you understand that. And sorry, I respect it. I share their frustrations. I understand what makes this thing go. And winning is what makes this thing go. Mike Tomlin, known for being a guy who has never had a losing season as an NFL head coach with the Steelers. He won a Super Bowl early on in his career. He's been to a couple of Super Bowls. If he came open, it came free into the head coaching market, the Titans should be calling him nonstop to see if he would come to Nashville. And I don't know if he would. Again, the Giants already have an open job. There are probably going to be others. There might be teams that fire their coach because Mike Tomlin becomes available. But if he was available and wanted to come to Nashville, I can't imagine much of a better hire for the Titans than Mike Tomlin.
That would be a home run hire, man, for sure. And it's funny though, because this would be a guy going from, I would call the Steelers the most stable organization in football. I mean,
right. I mean,
they've had 3 head coaches?
Basically.
You know what I mean? So you're going from the most stable. The Titans have had more change in 4 years than the Steelers have had in forever. So Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher.
Yes, it was Tomlin, Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll. They have had 3 head coaches dating back to 1969. Titans have had 3 head coaches in 10 years, 4 head coaches in 10 years. So there you go.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin has been with the Steelers since 2007, won the Super Bowl in 2008, lost it in 2010.
And let me say this. I don't know if it's on the Titans website, but the press conferences on Tuesday, you want a leader of men. And if it's not on the Titans site, I have a few clips of Dennard Wilson speaking on my X timeline. I know it's a tough situation as far as a guy who's been a part of all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's been negative, but you want a leader.
And that's why we were saying if you could get Tomlin and keep Wilson around as your defensive coordinator, like that staff starts to look just a million times more competent than it has been.
Yeah.
Especially if Arthur Smith comes over from Pittsburgh as well.
And then on top of that, if you also want a leader, because every week I say this, like, man, this team would be crazy to let him out the building. That's John Fossil. You talk about a guy who just relates to the players and a guy who you could tell they go an extra oomph for. Dennard Wilson,
John Fossil. Yeah,
absolutely.
Just because it's been horrible for the last 2 years doesn't mean every single person in the organization is bad at their job. I think Dennard Wilson, considering what he's been given and what's been taken from him this year, has done a pretty good job with this defense.
Yeah, he needs to open a lemonade stand.
Yes, he does.
Because he's consistently making lemonade out of lemons.
Yes. I mean, your starting 3 corners from week 1 are either no longer on the team or done for the year with an injury. So he has done his best. And it's funny, you're talking about most stable organization in the league in the Steelers. Titans are barreling towards their second straight season with less than 4 wins. They've done that 4 times in the last 12 seasons. You know the last time the Steelers had a season with less than 5 wins?
Tomlin's first year?
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record.
Oh, never. Okay.
So less than 5 wins in a season. Do you know the last time the Steelers had that? Year
84?
Year 1 of the Chuck Noll era, 1969.
Good gracious.
They had 1 5-win season in 1988, a 6-win season in 1986. But pretty much outside of that, they have had winning seasons every single year. Actually, 2003 was their last losing season. Since then, they have had a winning or a 500 record every single year. Unbelievable. And if Mike Tomlin gets let go, and I wouldn't say it would be the stupidest thing ever by the Steelers to let him go, because sometimes a message does get stale. And it's like, hey, he's been here for almost 20 years. Yes, he's done a good job for us, but the goal isn't to go 8-8 every year, 9-8 now. The goal is to try and win championships, and a change of scenery might be good for both the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. And if Mike Tomlin is available, he immediately becomes the number 1 candidate on the market.
And you know, we saw this movie before. It was just with another Mike Vrabel, right?
Yep.
Awesome coach, one of the top coaches, but it just the relationship ran its course.
It's a guy who, you know, us from the outside, we're not watching the Steelers and covering the Steelers every single day, so we don't know. But the people on the inside know a lot better. And when Mike Vrabel got fired, it's not like everyone around here was, you know, shock and awe that Mike Vrabel got fired.
No, there were some depressed people.
Right. But you could read the writing on the wall of hey, he lost 18 of 24. His message was getting stale. Like, was it the right decision? I think you can look back confidently and say no right now. But the people inside of Nashville understood it. The people on the outside were like, why would they fire Mike Vrabel? I think that might be the same thing with Tomlin if he was to get let go. The national media and us in a different market would be losing our minds saying, how could you fire Mike Tomlin? But the people who are actually inside it, I'm sure would understand.
Fully what's up.
Right. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will take your thoughts on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. When we come back, we'll look ahead to Sunday's matchup between the Titans and the Browns. We've delved into it a little bit, but it is Cam Ward. It is Shedeur Sanders. Myles Garrett on the other side. How do the Titans match up with the Browns heading into Sunday's game? 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game, Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, alongside you on your Thursday morning. Titans up in Cleveland. First road game in a long time. Last road game was Indy? Is that right?
Last road game, yeah, Indy.
That was
yes.
like last week of October.
It's been like 4, yeah.
Right. It was 4 straight home games with the bye week in there. So, yeah, been a while since they've been on the road. Titans in Cleveland on Sunday taking on the Browns. And let's start with the Sanders versus Ward. You're writing an article about it. We've touched on it a little bit, but I think the big thing that needs to be put out there is the results of this game probably aren't going to say anything about what these two quarterbacks are going to be in the long term. Right. I know there are going to be a lot of people out there, whether that's fans, whether that's the national media, whoever wins this game, if Shedeur Sanders wins this game, there's going to be a topic on, First Take or one of these debate shows of, did the Titans mess up not taking Shedeur Sanders number 1 overall? And that is not what you should be taking from this game. What you need to be looking at in this game is Cam Ward is going up against a really good defense, and Myles Garrett, maybe one of the best defensive players ever, is trying to break the single season sack record.
That's the focus.
He is going to be in a really tough spot on Sunday. The thing is, the Titans need to put Shedeur Sanders in a really tough spot on Sunday. Sanders has proven that he is going to make some mistakes. He's going to try and force things at times, whether that's taking a 15-yard sack or throwing the ball off his back foot and putting it in harm's way. Titans defense has to put Shedeur Sanders in some bad positions because this game really could be decided by a special teams touchdown or a defensive touchdown. That might be how the Titans could possibly win this one.
Jimmy DK could be an X factor. You mentioned that, right? And what instantly popped into my mind is Jeffrey Simmons speaking yesterday, and he talked about, Shedeur is good, but this team at the core, they want to run the football. Right.
Judkins, Sampson.
Judkins runs, man. Awesome. Like, he's another one of those runners, man. You know what I mean? So you have that, but he mentioned something about Shedeur still drifting in the pocket and about how much they want to boot him and play. So you want to keep him from being able to get on the move, cut that field halfway, and have the high-low, et cetera, et cetera. We know what you do with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They want to keep him from that and also be able to take advantage of some of that drifting. Maybe, just maybe, he drifts into a sack, or something like that. And, you got, Arden Key, Jeffrey Simmons, these guys, Jahad Ward, these guys are good at chopping, right? And getting that ball out.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, now that that's said, I'm going to spend time with the D linemen today. I'm going to watch them do an individual because I want to see if they're working on that part of it. And if they are, that's another good, with how I'm going to set it again. Kamar Rocker with Tracy Rocker. Because so last week they brought out the kickball and they're working on matching hands with the quarterback, right? Which is, you love to see it.
Right.
James Lynch, guess what he had in the game?
Yeah.
Tip pass.
Yeah.
So you saw the drills transfer
to the game.
from the practice to the game. Let's see what they do this week.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Shedeur Sanders, rookie quarterback too, with way less experience than Cam Ward. And Cam Ward has done a better job the last couple of weeks of taking care of the football. I believe this is back-to-back games without an interception for him.
Hopefully no fumbling.
The fumbling is still an issue. The hand size continues to be a question mark with Cam Ward. But Shedeur Sanders has had some really bad interceptions in his first couple of games. I mean, you look back, the first game, I forget who they were playing. When he had Baltimore, when he had to come in and, fresh off the bench, had no reps with the first teamers, all that stuff. He hit a cornerback right in between the numbers with no receiver within 10 yards. And he did a similar thing against the Raiders too. So he has been making mistakes, misreading coverages. I think Denard Wilson is going to try and throw the kitchen sink at Shedeur Sanders this weekend. Show him some different coverages, disguises, and see if you can force him into some mistakes. Because I said it with Corey yesterday, the offenses aren't going to decide this game. It's going to be the defenses. Whose defense can set up their offense for easy points, right? If it doesn't have to be a pick six, but if you can get a strip sack, get an interception, and set up Cam Ward where you just got to get in from the 15-yard line instead of going and sustaining a drive the length of the field.
It's going to result in a field goal anyway.
Either way, Mike McCoy is sending out the kicking unit. Third down and 5. Are we allowed to kick a field goal on third down?
It's a dog shame, man.
I mean, this game is going to be blown out of proportion into something that it's not. These are two young quarterbacks on two bad teams that are facing off. And likely both these guys are probably it's going to end up being like Cam Ward goes 16 of 27 for 142 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Shedeur Sanders, 15 of 30 for 130 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. And one team wins 10-7.
You know what happened last time they played, right? It was in November 2023, Washington State versus Colorado. 56-14. Cam Ward had 288 and 2 touchdowns. Shedeur was 6 out of 10, I think, for like 86 yards.
I mean, Washington State, Colorado, little different, but
different playing field.
But right, yeah, that is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah,
but
and you know what else with that? And it's funny because a lot is made about like pitting these two against each other, but they're actually really good friends. Now,
right,
Cam, he has said that they hadn't really talked this year, since the draft, which happens because you got your own race that
you're locked
running.
in.
But before that game, like in all the weeks leading up to it, and like they would have along with Shedeur, Daryl Colbert Jr., the quarterback's coach, who also coached Kyron Jones. They would have group FaceTimes after games and before the games. They said, and they talked every day training, right? DC told me, he said, Cam said, tell Shedeur I ain't got no rap for him this week. I was cracking up when he told me that.
That's so
man.
funny.
But that's how it is.
Yeah,
man.
and those guys, they're going to be competitors. Both those guys are going to want to go put on a show out there. It's just, it's difficult. Neither offense is all that good, and the both teams have game records on the defensive line. As good as Jeffrey Simmons is, he's not Myles Garrett. And Wes from Hermitage, we'll get to Wes from Hermitage. Keegan texted in. He said, I need y'all to give me 2 good reasons not to bet my hard-earned money on Myles Garrett 3+ sacks on Sunday.
I can't give you none. and guess what? The average number of sacks the Titans are giving up per game this
4.
year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so
Myles Garrett may not get all of them, but it's been shown that he gets a lot of them.
Gets a lot.
And
most of them.
I heard PK was on with Robbie Anjo yesterday, and I mentioned this to Corey. They were saying maybe Ali Udo just needs to go up to the official and say, hey, I'm eligible all day. Just, hey,
yeah, I'm
staying on the field.
Did you hear what I asked Nick Holtz?
No.
I said, do you need to go 6 linemen every play this game?
Corey had the good idea of bringing Corey Levin in as the tailback, and you can just have 7 out there.
Jeffrey Simmons is fullback.
Yeah,
you got to, hey, listen, man.
I mean, I think they're going to give whoever is up against Myles Garrett as much help as they can. And that's not JC Latham and Dan Moore have not been good, but no one looks good against Myles Garrett. We talked about it with Trent Williams. I couldn't believe I was watching that highlight from Sunday and I was like, man, Myles Garrett just bullied that guy. Who was that? And I saw 71. I was like, oh, that's Trent Williams that Myles Garrett just blew past. So
yeah. Crazy.
It's going to be an ugly game on Sunday. Temperatures are going to be in the 30s, the low 30s. You've got 2 rookie quarterbacks and 2 defenses that are better than both offenses. If either team gets to 20, I think I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
This game's going to stay in the teens.
I can't see it happening.
Wes from Hermitage says, if the Titans defense makes Sanders look horrible, then it needs to be talked about. Our defense is trash. So if Shedeur can't do much against us, he deserves all the criticism he'll get. Also, guys, I'm starting to begin to really, really hate this weird love that the Titans organization has with hiring coaches with the first name Mike. What in the world is going on with that? It is funny. The 2 guys that we talked about, Mike McCarthy, Mike Tomlin. You've already got Mike McCoy, Mike Vrabel, Mike Munchak, Mike Mularkey.
Mike Tomlin, as you mentioned just now, that'd be another Mike.
I mean, it's gone better than coaches named Ken or Brian, I guess. So Mike may not be the worst. Matt says NFL needs to flex this game to prime time just because it's going to be such a bleep show. I was kind of surprised they didn't put this one in prime time. After the draft, you could make the assumption that by week 14, maybe Shedeur Sanders is going to be starting for the Browns. Throw this. This has such a Thursday night vibe to it. We should be getting ready for this game tonight. Titans and Browns on a Thursday night.
Those old games with the colorway jerseys. I like
The
those.
Blake Bortles, Marcus Mariota matchup.
Yeah, those are the games that I remember watching the Titans so much, man. And when when I got the job, that's what popped into my mind, the colorway jerseys.
Yeah, those ugly games
highlighters
between like the 2-14 Titans and the 3-13 Jaguars. Yeah. You got the color rush jerseys with the Titans in the baby blue, Jags in the mustard yellow. And they were always competitive games because both teams were not very good.
Yep.
But yeah, that's, when you think of bad Thursday night football games, I think that's the only thing that can come to mind is Titans-Jags. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We got a couple more segments on this Thursday. We'll continue to talk Titans and Browns on the other side. And Titans and Browns isn't the Thursday night game, but we do have a pretty big one tonight. Cowboys and Lions in the NFC. We'll look at that one as well. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly. We got Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, we got Shedeur Sanders. Yeah.
Did I miss something?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, I think you're hoping they don't play that after his touchdowns at Browns games, right? They only did that in Colorado.
I don't think they played.
Have they retired his jersey yet out there?
In Cleveland?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not
It's
yet.
coming.
Not
It's
yet.
coming.
Soon after this year. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Previewing Titans and Browns. It's going to be an ugly game. And the conversation that has been had around Nashville, I heard Joe and Paul debating it this morning about what is more important for this team, winning games or securing the number 1 overall pick. And you look at the last 5 games of this schedule, I highly doubt the Titans are going to go to San Francisco and beat the 49ers. The Chiefs are fighting for a playoff spot. I highly doubt the Titans are going to beat them here. And then the Jaguars at the end of the season probably playing for a division title or something in the playoffs. That one seems tough. You got 2 games that are winnable. This week against the Browns, Saints at home. Is it better to see the Titans get a win for the culture and for the, we just talked about J.C. Latham, like the confidence of these guys to say, okay, we can win a football game. Or would you rather see the team just go 1-16 and secure that number 1 pick?
Well, I'll say this, if I'm not mistaken, beating the Saints, it goes beyond head-to-head strength of schedule.
I believe there is no head-to-head tiebreaker in this. Right now, the Titans are in a tough spot when it comes to tiebreakers because they do have the most difficult schedule in the league.
Ooh. Hey,
right now the tiebreaker is strength of schedule, and the Titans' strength of schedule is a 573 winning percentage, and that is the highest in the NFL.
Yeah, saw that. I think, look, this is the deal. I would say just go out there. If you win, you win.
Let it rip.
Right? Let it forward. Look what happened last year, for it to set up for them to get the number 1 pick. So, and I think chips are going forward.
I think that's the worry from Titans fans is like we saw what happened last year where at this point in the year, the Titans had almost 0 shot to get the number 1 overall pick. Was this right around the Bengals game last year where, the ship sailed on Will Levis and we're talking about quarterback options. And I remember having the conversation with you. There's no way they're going to get the number 1 overall pick. And it ended up happening because Drew Lock won a game for the Giants. Joe Milton won a game for the Patriots. Weird things happen down the stretch in the NFL. Which I think, yes, it can go one way. It can be, hey, the Titans might win a game or two that they're not supposed to. But you would expect some of these other teams are going to win a game too.
But still, at the same time, the number 1 pick, it doesn't mean everything, right? Look at would you trade places with the Patriots right now?
Yes.
Right. And what did you just mention? Joe Milton won a game late.
Right.
They didn't have the number 1 pick.
Right. Well, obviously, they already had their quarterback. The Titans feel like they already have their quarterback. So
they were getting a new coach.
Right.
The culture was changed, sprinkle in a few veterans, and boom. I'm not saying they're going to do what the Patriots did, but I'm saying is not getting the number 1 pick overall isn't the end of everything.
Right. And well, if the Titans win one more game, if they just win one, let's say they beat the Saints and they go 1-4, they are guaranteed to have a top 4 pick in the draft. So the question of getting the number 1 pick is more about the value that could come in a trade, right? Like the number 1 pick is obviously way more valuable and people are willing to come up to it to get a quarterback. But no matter what, as long as the Titans don't somehow figure things out and win 4 of their last 5, spoiler alert, not going to happen, they are going to get an elite player in this draft. It's just the question of can they get an elite player and more draft capital.
Yeah, no, of course. That's really what you're looking at. But I tell you what, you got to continue, as you mentioned a few segments ago. Hope Mendoza plays outstanding football. Hope Dante Moore comes out, because if there are more options, not only that, look, you remember that the 2016 draft, there were 2 trades out of the number 1 and number 2 spot.
Right.
So,
and I would honestly compare this draft class to that one. At the end of the year, and I'm sure most people can't remember back to their feelings on the quarterbacks at the end of that 2015 season, but did anybody really think Jared Goff and Carson Wentz were these like generational talents coming out? No, but they were the best two that were coming out,
Right.
and teams were willing to give up draft capital to come up and get them. So I think it's a very similar class to that of, yeah, there's no standouts, but somebody's going to fall in love. And that's why I said we need a Linsanity run from somebody. If you're a Titans fan, root for these young quarterbacks who are in the conversation for the top pick to go crazy. Maybe not this week. If you're a Vanderbilt fan, you don't want Fernando Mendoza to steal the Heisman away from Diego Pavia. But once you get into the playoff, you need to be able to have one of those quarterbacks separate themselves, therefore driving that price up.
Yeah, you want two of them because just in case you don't get the first pick. So, look, it's gonna fall the way it's supposed to. You just gotta just roll with it, you know.
Dustin from Hopkinsville says there's going to be an elite player where the Titans pick, but they still might take a guard.
Well, they do need a right guard, right?
Not if they push J.C. Latham in there.
They need a right tackle.
615-737-1025. Get your texts and calls in. I did want to look at this Cowboys and Lions game. And before we talk about the game itself, George Pickens is a popular name out there. He has turned in a great season for the Cowboys and likely is going to be available in some form or fashion this offseason, right? Like George Pickens, I don't think they're going to just let him walk, but I think they might tag him and try and find a trade partner.
You want this organization to sign George Pickens?
No, that's what I
Okay.
was going to say. I was going to say, I've seen people saying that, hey, go get George Pickens. I think the Titans are better off trying to find their top wide receiver in the draft, but they do need help. The reason I'm starting, I want Alec Pierce to be a Titan next year. That is
listen, I've been beating that thing for a while now. Since that first Colts game, I've been saying it. He's going to get paid. People love speed.
They do.
And he's a vertical threat. I will venture to say he and Jamar Chase, check the numbers, but I would venture to say he and Jamar Chase are like neck and neck for catches over 40 yards over the last 3 years or so.
Yeah, Alec Pierce this season is, he is a deep ball threat. This year, 33 catches, 689 yards. So he's averaging over 20 yards per catch. He only has 2 touchdowns this year.
He's doing that Chris Sanders type stuff, man.
But yeah, both of the last 2 years averaging over 20 yards per catch. 22 yards per catch last year. It's going to be, I think you've used this comparison before, a Christian Kirk type deal.
Yeah.
Like that
where
comes down
whoa.
where Rappaport tweets out, the Titans have signed Alec Pierce to a 4-year, $85 million deal. And everybody's like, what? $85 million for Alec Pierce? But it's going to be the going rate, I think, for a wide receiver of his caliber.
Tell me this. I'm just kind of spitballing here. I don't know the exact numbers. Would you trade Calvin Ridley's contract for Alec Pierce's?
Oof, that's a good question. That is a good question because like Calvin Ridley, he got paid 3 or 2 off seasons ago.
Damn, I wish he could stay out. Ridley is so good, man.
It's disappointing when the Titans continually bring in guys who have been good other places and clearly have potential to be a good player, but it just never seems to work out here.
I know I said it before, but he's the most sudden receiver I've ever seen in person.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I love watching him practice, man.
I go back to when A.J. Brown was on Bussin' with the Boys a couple of years ago, and they asked him his top 5 wide receivers, and he included Calvin Ridley in there. And this was Falcons Calvin Ridley. And he was such a good player, and he has so much talent. But yeah, it's the injuries, of course, the suspension. He just never turned into the guy that you were hoping you would get.
Yeah. So if you figure Ridley's deal has 2 years, $54 million left on there.
So would you give that deal to Alec Pierce, like that kind of money?
A 4-year, $85-90 million deal?
I think that's what he's going to go for. I wonder if they have his market value up on Spot Track because that's not always completely accurate, but at least gives you an estimate. Let's see. Alec Pierce on Spot Track, 15.7 average annual salary. So they're saying 4 years, $62 million. So I think it's gonna be higher than that.
Excuse me. I saw somewhere else where I had him at 20 million per year, but even still, like 4 years, 80 million. Like, yes,
yeah,
you do that,
and that's what I'm thinking for this Titans team. You can get this wide receiver core in a good spot with DK and Iamaner. You hope they take a step forward in year 2. You get a true bona fide deep threat in Alec Pierce, and then you draft a wide receiver early who can be your alpha, and boom, that is weapons galore for Cam Ward.
You brought up George Pickens. Why not get the younger version of him that Steve Smith said is only a faster version of him? Carnell Tate.
There you go.
And the Cowboy. We started off with Cowboys versus Lions, so why not get a Amon-Ra St. Brown type of player and Mekhi Lemon? Like, there's things that you could do, to really shore up that core quickly.
Lenny says no deep threat wants to come to the Titans. We don't throw the ball more than 4 yards down the field. That was something that changed on Sunday with Cam Ward. He didn't throw the ball beyond 20 yards downfield.
I mean,
they took it away.
Did you not? They took it away, and also he was constantly under duress, man.
That's true.
Josh Hines Allen had his way.
Takes some time to be able to get beyond 20 yards downfield. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Last call for phones. We'll wrap up the show on the other side. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5, The Game. Jake Lyman, Teron Davenport, Parker Kelly, finishing the show on this Thursday, doing it in style.
Doing it in style. This always brings back memories of, and I said it before, but you know another memory it brings back? It too, right? The NFC Championship game. LeGarrette Blount and Corey Clement. They played, this song played, and the way those guys started rocking and how all the crowd went crazy, I have goosebumps. The hair on my arms is raising up, just remembering that. And then, well, Malcolm Jenkins came running out.
Yep.
Super Bowl. They played that song, and he came sprinting out. And Brian Brayman, rest in peace, man. Brian Brayman, he died of cancer recently. He ran out and he had the flag. Oh my God. The energy, man.
You just knew they were going to win at that point.
And that song already gets you crunk as it is, but then you add in like, oh my God.
I want our listeners to have a great rest of their day. That's why I played that song to end.
Bingo.
We're setting the tone. We're setting the tone. Someone came after us because we played it at 9:15 last time.
Right.
I'm playing it at the very end of the show.
That is what that was said, that Dreams and Nightmares at 9:15 might be a little bit early.
No, man, it's never too early to feel good.
11:45 is perfect. Do we just start making that our outro song, like
on TD Thursdays?
On TD
That's
Thursdays?
fine with me.
There we go.
No problem.
615-737-1025. Final call for phones if you have any last thoughts for TD. Weston Clarksville asked, we did not have a show last Thursday because of Thanksgiving, obviously. Yeah. But he asked, did you get to announce Chris Sanders at the Titans game when he was the Titan?
No! I wish I could have.
They didn't play the Bulls music for
you? They just stopped and they just let him out. Because I would have said, you know what I would have said. Oh, Tyrone Hill looking fool.
I met him on Monday at the bowling alley for the first time.
Really?
Chris? Didn't he look like Tyrone? Tell me the truth, Parker. Did he look like the ugliest man you ever seen?
I'll talk to you off air. I'll talk to you off air.
You know what? Faith, God bless you. God bless you. Faith is a beautiful woman, and I understand she sees that it's let me stop messing with Chris. Chris is my dog, man. And that's when you have a homie like that. When you're homies, you can mess with each other like that. But they're a beautiful couple, though. Chris and Faith, that's the epitome of love. I really like. I got to spend time with them in play. I dream to have that type of relationship.
Faith is the reason that it's a beautiful couple, not Chris.
Exactly.
And make sure if you want more of TD and Chris, you can always listen to Talking with TD.
Hey, as a matter of fact, on Run TMC this week, we went really deep about coverages and about how. Just listen to it.
Yeah,
listen
check it out.
It's the final segment on there. So check it out.
Anywhere you can find your podcasts, and it plays over the weekend on the station if you're roaming around Nashville on Saturday or Sunday. Final segment here, wrapping up the show. Didn't want to mention, we were talking about Chris Sanders. Obviously, he does some coaching over there at NBA. High school state championships start today. So shout out to anybody out there in Chattanooga getting ready for a state championship game. Coming up in just a little bit, newest Vanderbilt Commodore, Jared Curtis, is going to play his state championship with Nashville Christian. So that's coming up. I believe it's a 2:00 kickoff out there. So
that's pretty dope that he flipped, man. I love that for the
highest rated recruit in Vanderbilt history. Crazy.
How about it?
Let's go back to our phone lines one final time before we wrap it up. Hilltopper Rex is on the line. Thanks for calling, Rex. What you got for us?
Yes, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. I just wanted to see what TD thought about this. As many holes as we've got, and we all know we've got them on the Titans team, it's encouraging when players like DK and these others are doing so well, because we've got to do some bargain shopping at this draft. We've got to get out there and recognize that talent and get them on here, even if they're not rated first or second rounders. We've got to be able to locate these guys and at least get better. We don't have to be perfect after one draft, but it would be nice to step up, be better, and then work on it. And that's all I got to say. And go Toppers. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks
real
for the
quick,
call,
Hilltopper, that's a great point. DK, Ironman, Gunnar Helm, these are examples of how you could get impact players beyond, because contrary to popular belief, the draft is more than just the first round. I don't know if you knew that, Hilltopper.
I'm just finding this out now.
Yeah. He makes a great point.
No, it's a great point, Rex. And
absolutely, you got to go out there and bargain shop and do your job. If you're the GM you're supposed to be and you're scouting, Get out there and find that good, sharp, young talent deal and get them and develop them and build this thing.
Handle your business.
Right. And, you got to hit on the first round picks. You got to hit on the second round picks. But if you're going to build depth on this roster, you've got to hit on some of your late round picks. And it's good to see what you've seen from Helm, Iamaner, DK, Marcus Harris has shown some flashes so far. You're excited about Jackson Slater as a possible future on the offensive line. So, right. It's the late round picks too. And they've been able to accumulate a few more of those at the trade deadline and move some of their 7th into the 6th and 6th into the 5th. We'll see if Mike Borgonzi,
4th if the Ravens make the play.
And Draymond Jones needs half a sack left, right?
He'll get it.
I would
Draymond's going to deliver for you guys.
I would think he would, or at least hope so. But yeah, half a sack more. And if the Ravens make the playoffs, Titans add another 4th round pick. That'll about wrap things up for us, TD. As always, appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, man. Great job too with Vandy calling the games and everything.
It's been a lot of fun, 9-0, but we've got a little time off. Next game is Monday the 15th. Girls have final exams. It's almost like they go to Vanderbilt.
You got some homework.
I do.
I wanna, fan out. I want to geek out.
I will reach out. We will have a Vanderbilt guest on next Thursday. I will do my best to have somebody from the team.
Okay.
I'll try for Michaela.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Max Hers is on with us for the first hour of the show to talk Predators as they are on the road. They are taking on the Florida Panthers tonight. We'll talk about that game and much more. And we'll also get you ready for a big weekend of football. Chase and Big Joe are coming up next. Keep it right here on 102.5 The Game.